So what we're going to do is create a compound validation rule that will allow us to validate only under specific conditions. What I want in my test project is to validate for the category research. I only want this validation to happen if it's in that category. And what I want to happen is for the user to be blocked from entering a spent value, which is greater than the budget value. If the category is anything other than research, I don't want the validation to be applied. So to create this validation, I go into the settings. And the first thing is to set the condition so that category is equal to research. This validation is only going to be enforced when that's true. Otherwise, this is totally ignored. When we put in validation, we're asserting a condition. So what we want to say is that spent must be less than or equal to budget. If this rule does not match, the validation message will appear and the user cannot save. So what we'll say is for research projects, spent must not be greater than budget. I'll add my validation rule and save. And always when we're doing validation, we want to check our results. We want to check to make sure the validation is enforced, but we also want to check to make sure that it isn't unintentionally enforced in a situation where it should not be enforced. So the first thing I'll do is test the intended rule. We have a research category, and therefore I should not be able to use a value greater than budget for spent. So here's the validation message that I just typed in. It did not allow the value. I'll change it back. My record was able to update in that situation. Now what I also want to check is to make sure that this wouldn't be triggered if I had a different category. So we said this validation would be ignored based on the condition we set. So I should be able to put in the spent greater than budget in this situation without any problem. And you can see that it did allow me to save. So you can see that you can combine multiple conditions to create sophisticated validation rules.